Hello everybody, my name is Bradley and welcome into Civilization 6, where today I will be showing you how to win a domination victory. A domination victory is one of the most fun victory types and the one that most people ask me, hey VB, how's it going? How do you win a domination victory? So I'm going to show you right now. To do this, I have tried to create the most representative game possible. I've turned off any mods that affect the game balance in any way. We've made sure to load in with standard settings on a standard map on standard difficulty, the same stuff that people loading into Civ for the first time will experience. The reason why I don't want to play this game on a very high difficulty is it actually changes the strategy for how to win a domination victory quite a bit, and I want to make sure we're teaching the fundamentals before we get into anything complicated. So this is played on Prince difficulty here, which is the standard difficulty in Civ 6. I don't recommend ever going lower than this just because you might pick up some bad habits you'll later have to shake, but that's what we're going to be doing today. Very standard game, standard map type, standard difficulty, and all the rest. The first thing you want to do when you are going to win a domination victory, especially if you're learning, is to pick a civilization and a leader that are good at winning domination victories. If you click on your leader profile here, every leader has certain attributes that kind of make them better at some things than others. There are a whole bunch of civs that are better at domination victories than others. So I've picked Simone Bolivar today. Shaka is another great pick. Shaka Zulu, if you want another really domination focused civ. There is a whole bunch of them. On Prince difficulty, though, you can probably take what I'm about to do and just kind of copy and paste it on any civ, and ideally you'll be able to do this with your favorite civ. So just pick the one you want to play the most. If you can pick one that's good at domination, that's even better. Here are some of the abilities with Gran Colombia that are great for what we're doing. In any domination focused game, you're going to want to earn great generals via building encampments and building great general points. With Gran Colombia, we get those for free at the start of the era, so that's what we're going to use here. We have extra movement for all of our units. This is obviously good for non-military units, but it's great for our military units as well. Anytime the units you are going to use to destroy cities can move more tiles in every turn, that's great. They also promote without ending the turn, so we're going to be able to promote our units more easily. Wonderful stuff. We also have the Generos here, right? So these Generos are a cavalry replacement for us. When we get to the cavalry units, we will be building these instead, and they get extra combat strength if they are next to other Generos. And cavalry has tons of movement. Based with this extra +1 movement here, we're just going to have a bunch of horses that can fly in from off screen and destroy cities. And so that's the kind of combination of abilities we're going for here with Gran Colombia. And finally, since it is 2024, I will be playing with some game modes. I have turned off Heroes and Legends because I think it just absolutely breaks the domination victory. But we do have some other ones. What do we have here? We have Secret Societies, Monopolies and Corporations, and Barbarian Clans are the game modes I have active. You will be able to take what I'm going to show you and do it without game modes. That's totally fine. It's just 2024. You know, the DLC's been out for a while. I'm assuming most people have it by now. So we're just going to do that. I find it more fun with the DLC. I've settled our first city here. We are working this wonderful 3-2 tile, this 3 food, 2 production tile. As a matter of strategy, I'm not going to be able to come in here very often to show you what exactly I'm building. However, as a matter of strategy, we're going to start going for all the things we want in a domination victory. In Civ 6, if you're learning, it's always best to just go for the things you need for the victory you're going for. So we're going to need some horses. We're going to want some iron. We're probably going to want some encampments. All of this stuff up here. Fishing and sailing is not going to do anything for us militarily right now. So we'll start with animal husbandry and we'll work up to some of the domination focus aspects on the science tree. And in any game of Civilization 6, we are going to start with scouts. Scouts help us do a couple of things. One, they help reveal the map. If we don't know where we're going and who we're attacking, we're going to have a hard time dominating the game here, especially since some civs have different abilities that will change the way you want to approach dominating them. So we're going to want to scout the map. We also want to see where we might want to settle some of our own cities. We want to take up that good land before they do. And we also want to meet city-states before the AI do to get some extra bonuses. There we go. I have met my first city-state, and I can go over a lot of things with you right here. As you can see, if you are the first civ to meet a city-state, you will get a bonus. You will get a free envoy put in there, so we're getting +1 culture right now. This is why scouts are so important to get these extra bonuses early in the game. We also have these goodie huts right here that will give us bonuses as well. We're going to want to find those, and so we're going to need a couple of scouting units to help us do that. For our governors, I'm not going to be able to show you every single time. If we have a secret society, I'm going to try and go vampires because that's the most fun domination secret society. In general, though, you're always safe going Pingala, especially if you're learning Civ. He just gives you free science and culture in your cities based on the population. So if you just want to grab Pingala, put him in your capital city, and get the couple of promotions there, you're going to feel good every single time. We've had some barbarians spawn, so we'll talk about killing barbarians when we get to it. However, we also have some goodie huts. I'm not going to show you each and every one, but if you hover over a goodie hut here, you're going to get a bonus. In this case, we got gold. There are other bonuses you might receive as well. We have another goodie hut here. All the more reason to build a second scout so we can see the map better. The policy card screen is probably the one I'm going to show you the most throughout this game. We're going to be picking domination-focused policies, though. Anything that helps us destroy the map quicker is what we're going to go for. So killing barbs, wonderful stuff. We would love a pantheon, so we're going to go for this little bit of faith here. And that'll be our policy start for a while. We have our first big decision to make now because I built 2 scouts, and with our extra movement, 2 scouts is going to be more than enough. Now we have a choice to make. We need to decide how many cities we want to settle ourselves and how many we're just going to take over. By the end of this game, we're going to have like 57 cities because we're going to destroy the map. So we don't want to settle that many of our own. As a matter of practice, I typically settle at least 3. So I know I'm going to want 2 more settlers at the very least. I don't really settle more than 5 though, for a few reasons that we'll talk about later, but we know we're going to want at least 3 of our own cities to start, so I'm going to build a settler here, and I feel pretty confident that between my scouts and my warrior, we can secure the area enough to get a few more cities. We have met Japan. Japan is to our north and probably the first person we are going to take out in this game, so it's super cool to know he's there. We're going to keep an eye on his empire as it builds. If I'm looking at things correctly, we're going to have another neighbor that we can take out, Tamar. Tamar is the first civ we're going to meet that's going to change our plans. I don't expect a beginner to know all the abilities of every civ, but Tamar is actually quite good at building walls, which will make domination a little bit trickier, so it's just good to know that off the top of our head. We might want to take her out before she has the chance to build walls. We are starting to have some barb problems, so I am going to start building some more units. Just as a matter of practice, I'm going to want a couple of melee units, a couple of ranged units, and then ideally some cavalry units later. We're going to want a good mix of a few things here. I think it's time for a slinger. As much as I would love to buy a builder, I don't really have much to build just now, and we do have 190 gold. We might as well spend it. I am going to buy a warrior so we can escort this settler where I'd like it to go. So I know for a fact I want to take out Kyoto. I want to get rid of Japan. I want to make sure they are no longer on the map. There seems to be a good spot right here where we can settle a city that puts us closer to Kyoto. And so I want to take that land away from them. That'll put us closer to our first target and also make sure they have less room to expand and become more powerful. We have taken out a barb camp and discovered vampires. So later on, when we get the chance, we will be going into them. I think this 2-2 tile on a river with some good food and some good production tiles is perfect for what we're trying to do. So we'll unlink those. We'll settle our city, and it became a 2-2. It started as a 1-2, but it became a 2-2. And there we go. And we're going to start with a monument just to get a little bit of culture, a little bit of loyalty, and we'll work from there. The next thing I'm going to do is actually a little bit sneaky. I'm going to build a trader, but why am I building a trader? I'll show you in a minute. This is a good time to illustrate how awesome boosts are in a game of Civilization 6. If you're not aware, you can boost the certain things that you're going for in the tech tree based on meeting this requirement at the bottom. It says here, if I kill a unit with a slinger, it's going to help boost my archery skill. You can see this blue bar where I still have tons to fill out. It takes 9 turns. If I achieve that goal of killing a unit with a slinger, boom, that went from 9 turns down to 5 turns. It boosted that tech, so I'm going to learn it a little bit easier. You're not going to be able to do this with every single one, but I'm not going to be able to show you every single one, so it's just good to know that throughout this entire game, I'm going to be doing my best to achieve the boosts where I can to make my roll through these tech trees as easy as possible. I want to take this time to talk about promotions. As you use your units in combat, as long as they don't get killed, they will achieve promotions. This warrior has a promotion here. We are going to go with Battle Cry to give us extra combat strength. I'm not going to be able to go over each and every promotion for each and every unit type. There's so many, but just know that you want these promotions. Now, there are a whole bunch of different strategies for domination games. My strategy to save myself time, energy, and to make the game go faster is to have a small army, a smaller amount of units with a high amount of promotions, right? You can have a really large army, but then you take a lot of time building that army, moving that army. Each individual unit in that army is going to do a little bit less. Whereas I find as long as you can keep your units from dying, which takes some practice, having a smaller amount of units with a high amount of promotions will often be far more beneficial and make your games go a little bit quicker. So we're going to try and have a smaller amount of units, but a very highly qualified and well-experienced army, just as a matter of strategy if you're trying to understand how I'm approaching this game philosophically. Our governor title has come in. I'm going to go with vampires just to show them off. We're in 2024. But what I was talking about with Pengala earlier is you can promote into the culture and science per population in the city. Pengala's in a city with 5 populations, so that would double my science and more than double my culture. Absolutely for free early on in the game, so worth doing. But we're going to go for vampires here. If you are not sure how vampires work, they start with a base amount of melee strength. That'll be based on your highest level melee unit. So for us, that is a warrior right now. And as units die near them, they are going to gain combat strength. This is an unlimited amount for regular kind of in-game player units, and you can get up to 10 combat strength for barbarians. So what we're going to do is I am going to kill this warrior next to the vampire here. It doesn't even need to be with the vampire, just next to it. And then this vampire is going to gain +1 combat strength the next time I go to attack. You can see now on the bottom right that I have 26 combat strength. There's that +20 we talked about earlier, 5 from the policy card against barbarians that we talked about, and then +1 from barbarians that have died near the vampire. This is going to be +2, and I can get up to +10 doing that, and then an unlimited amount from other in-game player units. Now, the sneaky thing I'm actually going to do with the trade route, the trade route is going to give you all kinds of things: gold, science, culture, food, production. Take your pick. I'm not here to tell you how to use trade routes. This is a domination video. What it also does is create a road that units can take more quickly. Now, our units already have tons of movement, but yours might not if you're playing a different civ. So I'm going to make a road from Bogota to Kyoto, and then that trader is going to create a road for me, and I'll be able to follow that road through the rough terrain to my target. Now, I did say I wanted to settle 3 cities at minimum. However, I think we can take Kyoto pretty quickly and pretty early. We're in a really good position. So I think what I want to do here is continue with some military units while we can. So I think we're going to do that for now. Now is a great time to talk about promoting units. This is another reason why you want high or a small amount of units with a high level of promotion. Once you unlock the next tech for slingers, that is archers, we've unlocked archery in the science tree. Instead of building a new archer that takes a lot of time and a lot of production and doesn't have any promotions, for a mere 60 gold, which I can then discount later, I can upgrade this one to an archer. So now it's a better slinger with a promotion, and it was very cheap to do that and doesn't require me to produce it anymore in any of my cities. So small amount of units, high amount of promotions is what we're going for. I've built my warrior, and you can see now the advantage of this road, as my warrior is just going to zoom up the road to where we're trying to go to kill Japan. When you accumulate 25 faith and you get to choose your pantheon, the list of what's available will be different because each player can only choose the pantheon one time. So if an AI has chosen it, it might not be available. Just pick which one you vibe with. None of these are necessary for a domination victory. However, there's a few decent ones. If you want to build your units a little bit faster, God of the Forge is a really, really good idea to get a bunch of early game units on the map. We're going to go God of Craftsman, though. We need strategic resources throughout this game: horses, iron, uranium for a nuke, maybe. So we're going to want God of Craftsman here. A little bit of extra production, a little bit extra faith. No harm, no foul. We'll just kind of passively be good for us. I'm having a lot of fun killing barbarians. I still will need to kill some barbarians, but we can do a policy card swap now. I'm going to make creating units a little bit easier so we can get a bunch of those on the map. Again, philosophically, I want to get a bunch of units out early, and then I kind of want to just promote them through the rest of the game. And then we don't need faith anymore. We have got our pantheon. I'm going to want more builders eventually, but more production overall will be perfect, and that'll affect every city, so that's great. Now, I am fairly certain that I want to attack Japan in the next couple of turns here, and I don't want everyone on the map to be immediately angry with me, so I'll go through the whole process of denouncing just to show you that process. You're also free to just declare a surprise war whenever you'd like, but denouncing, it does give them a 5-turn heads up, but it also minimizes the amount of grievances you get, so we'll do this for this first one here. It is time for our first district. I'm going to build an encampment, not because I think it's the best precisely, but encampments are great for your domination victories. They will allow you to build units with more experience. You're going to be able to build different kinds of units sometimes. We also start getting points towards these great generals. Now, we are going to get great generals for free, but it's still worth me showcasing to you how this functionality works. And I don't want to build this on floodplains right now, so I'll just build it over here. Should be fine. All right, Japan has noticed that our units are passing by his lands. Now is a great time to just declare war, so we're going to declare war here. Bazinga, our first war of the game. Now, I'm going to talk about how my units are placed here. If you start a war and your units are already inside their cities, it will kick them out. So you want to start with your units outside the cities. I've started with my melee units close by because I want them to go near the city. My archers are in good spots to attack the city from farther range, and then this warrior is going to come in and go near the city as well. And you can't perfectly position them all the time. We also haven't met any resistance, which is hilarious. So we're just going to move our units in here and start attacking. And I hope I haven't done anything complicated or strange or difficult to understand. I know this game feels really complicated sometimes. We'll steal that builder. But I think in this case, like, I've kind of just done a normal amount of work here. And I hope that this, at least this first part of the war, was easy to follow so that you can replicate this in your games. I got ahead of myself a little bit last turn, but I'm going to show you how to attack cities. Ranged units typically go first. Now we're blocking the ranged unit. That's okay. Let's move you. And let's move you. And let's move you here. That's fine. But ranged units on the outside are going to attack first. Wither down the defenses a little bit. And then your other units can come in here. I also want to show off next turn a vampire pillaging, because I think that will be helpful. But for now, we'll keep attacking. We're not in any danger of death here, so this is perfect. And we can take this builder and send it back. Now we have to decide, who are we attacking next? Tamar is a great option. Tamar is the next closest. Japan doesn't have any other cities, I don't think. Unless there's a city up here, that'd be pretty funny. We might take that one as well. But we'll come over here next, so we probably want to get a trade route over there to build that road. All right, if you decide to use vampires in your games, they heal extra by pillaging. So pillaging the farm gets 50 health, but pillaging anything as a vampire is the best way for them to heal. So that's a now full health vampire. I'll show off pillaging again here. We can take the city next turn. If you pillage the districts and things in the cities, you will gain science. So this would be 43 science here if I pillage this. I'm actually not, because we're taking over the city and I don't want to have to rebuild my own campus. So I'm just going to hit with both the archers. And then we'll come in here. This will be a major victory. Now, you're going to need a melee unit to take a city. You're not able to take a city with just ranged units. So even if you've been attacking with ranged units, make sure you have a melee unit on hand, or a cavalry unit, or just not a ranged unit to come in and take the city. But we're going to do that. And bazinga, there we go. Tamar is happy with us for some reason. But we've got Kyoto now. And we're going to talk about a few things now that we have Kyoto. First things first, Kyoto is the first domino to fall in our domination victory. How you actually win a domination victory is by acquiring all the capitals. So you can see Japan does have another city, but we've already conquered Japan because we have its capital city. So you do not need to get every city from every empire in the game. You are good to just get the capital cities if you can figure that out. Now, the reason why that might be difficult is loyalty. If we just have one enemy city, none of our own cities around, and we're just kind of in the midst of enemy territory, we're going to have a hard time keeping the city with loyalty. There are a few things that affect loyalty. This is not a loyalty tutorial, so we'll have to find another video for that. But we're going to keep this city. And the first thing I can do, I'm going to find out how long I have. Here it says we're losing 3.7 per turn, and there's 50 loyalties. So that's like at least 15 turns or so. So that's totally fine. We don't have much to do here. I guess this guy can come back and take care of the barb. But we're not going to lose loyalty here. If you have an extra governor lying around, adding a governor to a city adds 8 loyalty. So if we were in trouble here, we could just move Pingala to a different city, and that would be fine. Pericles is mad that we're taking over the world, and this is where grievance is coming. I'm not going to have a good relationship with the other civs in this game. They're all kind of grumpy with me, but that's okay. We did our best to not declare a surprise war. We also acquired another settler, so investment 1 here, because we didn't need to build a third city of our own. We got a free third city and now a free fourth city, so we're just cruising. I have now acquired a builder. I will be using builders throughout the game, so you'll see me build and purchase lots of them. I'm going to find some tiles that I think would be good to improve. This 4 food tile would be a lot better if I put a farm on it, so we're going to do that. I think this tile over here would also do good with the farm on it. So I'm not going to go over a builder tutorial right now, but just building tiles throughout the game is helpful because they give you more bonuses that you can use. Part of loyalty is proximity to your own population's population, your own city's population, your own empire's population. If I settle a new city right here next to Kyoto, it's going to make Kyoto's loyalty better because it's closer to our population. So we're just going to do that. A good use of this settler. This is a reasonable city. It'll make Kyoto's lives a little better. And Panama is now on the map. We have our first government selection. There's a lot of good options here. I actually think, since we are already quite a bit ahead in this game and we're not going to have any issues, I actually think going for wonder production would be the most fun. But we are in a domination game, and melee units getting extra combat strength and extra unit experience is exactly what I'm here for. It's what you should be here for as well. So we're going to select that government as our first. I'm going to come in hot here, and I'm going to choose conscription. I want to make a little more money off my units, or at the very least not spend quite as much money. And then I do want to talk about, if it comes up in this game, city-states and how you can use them to your advantage. So I'll try and get some influence points into city-states as well. Oh my goodness, what is this? Have they built units? Unfortunately for them, I think my vampire is going to eat their units and become stronger. Yeah, but they tried to build them. There was an attempt, a genuine attempt at a defense. Now you can see, now that they have units in the city, it's harder for me to just attack it. So we're going to have to do a little bit of fandangling here to make this work. I'm going to take the time here to show you how chopping resources work. Again, this is not a full tutorial on how to chop resources, but if I get rid of the woods here, I'm going to get 39 production. So I'm going to do that before I put this government plaza down, because I'm going to get that extra production. So now we've got an archer, which is super sick. But I wanted to put the government plaza there, and I also wanted to get some production on the way. So we're going to chop that out instead of just putting a government plaza on it. You want to get a builder there first and get both things. We get the government plaza on that tile, and we get the production from the chop. So everyone wins. One of the things that's important to know with a domination victory is you might be tempted to build encampments in every cities. Please, please, please do not. The extra great general points are great. There are a few other reasons why that might be quite fun to do. But we have an encampment in a city that can build lots of units. That's enough for now. We're going to get some of the other districts we need. We're going to want a commercial hub around, make our lives a little easier on that front. And I don't want it on a floodplain, so we can go there. That's fine. But if you build an encampment in every city, you're kind of just doubling down on something you're already doing really well at. And I think in this kind of game, we need ways to make money. We need ways to make science, those types of things. We have now entered the classical era, which means we should have a Commandante General, and we do, which is perfect. We also happen to be in a golden age, which makes our loyalty amazing, especially because Japan's in a dark age. That's fine. There's no best possible option here, but free inquiry is good for now, so we are going to take that. With our Commandante General, though, let's get it up. You can teleport them between city centers, so I'm going to teleport them up to Kyoto, and then we'll talk about it next turn. Unit positioning is really, really important. I'm not quite taking the city yet, but what I am doing is farming promotions here. So we have another promotion on this archer, so we can get down and have a really cool set of skills here. I think I might go just Arrow Storm. It's not my favorite promotion, but we'll just go down the tree here. We're going to continue to do damage to the city, but you want to make sure you're swapping your units to the right tiles. The vampire is going to have an easier time with this spearman than the warrior is that needs to heal, so we're just going to protect you, and then we're going to attack with you. Hell yeah, look at that. So here's the effect of the Commandante General. I've moved it over to this warrior. Its passive ability, +5 combat strength to land units within 2 tiles. So this archer, this warrior, and this warrior are getting extra combat strength for being within 2 tiles. And I can now continue on my promotion farming. So they got a promotion. You're going to get a promotion. And if I kill you, then this vampire is going to get +1 as well. So even though we're not taking the city, we are accomplishing quite a bit. And then this vampire is going to upgrade and then get the pillage to not die as well. So everything's coming up VanBradley and Grand Columbia right now. Now, the cool thing about vampires is they can't die. So even if this Byreme comes and kills the vampire, I'm not going to be too fussed. It's just going to come back to my city. We'll heal it up and send it out. Nothing awful happens at all. All right, so now everybody's getting in on the deal here. Let's go down a different tree with this archer just to spice it up a little bit. Now everyone's getting the bonuses, and we're going to have a much better time here attacking the city now. Yeah, my promotion farming is off the chain. Everyone's back in position. This Commandante General is after everybody, and we are just going to start promotion farming, hitting the city, doing what we got to do. Yeah, we'll get it next turn. This is awesome. This is good stuff. We haven't even got to the Janeros yet, which is arguably like the best part of Grand Columbia. I can see that we're going to take this city with these units now, though. So now I want to start getting the set of units here on the way to where we're going. Kumanya is going to be kind of our base of operations as we head towards Tamar here through Singapore. So we're going to want to make sure we are all set up for that. And there we go. Fukuoka is ours. We will take that builder, please. And Japan is out of the game. This gives us extra era score, so sometimes it is worth eliminating the civ entirely. We'll keep Fukuoka. That's a wonderful city. We'll get it all nice and built up. I'm going to heal these units first, and then we'll send them on their way to wherever they're going. The next thing we're going to build is our Warlord's Throne. Capturing an enemy city grants 20% production in all cities for 5 turns. We're going to capture a lot of cities, so that's a lot of free production. I also want to place down a commercial hub. I know I want to put a +4 commercial hub down here. So I'm going to get that in the queue to lock in the amount of production it takes. If I were to build that later, it would cost more production. So even though I'm not quite building it, I want to make sure I've placed it on the tile so I lock in the lower production cost amount. So now the thing I wanted to show you here is we could easily take out Singapore. It's just, we're going to do a lot of domination. We're going to leave Singapore alone. But what we are going to do is become the suzerain of Singapore. Now, Valletta would be a better option for us, and we'll talk about Valletta later. However, we can use city-states strategically in terms of their location, and that's what I wanted to show off. If I become the suzerain of Singapore by putting 3 envoys in it, and you have to have the most, so no one else is putting envoys in here, which is great. You can see Suleiman's put 6 into Antananarivo, so I'd need 7. Anyways, I'm going to put that into Singapore. That's going to give me some air score, but now I can walk through Singapore. Like, my units can walk through the borders of Singapore. So I'm going to be able to walk through Singapore up to Tamar, and then when we go to war with Tamar, they'll just also hop in and attack Tamar. So that'll be great. A meteor shower falling here is hilarious because a meteor shower gives you a free unit. So all our units here anyway is just going to give me a free heavy chariot, which is, I think we were good. Not gonna lie, I think we were fine without it. We're doing okay, but yeah, all this extra movement is making things real easy for us. We're having a good time. We're gonna build an iron mine here. Once we get that iron mine, remember we took the Pantheon to give us a little boost. So extra production, a little bit of faith. We are now going to accumulate iron. I've put in a policy card to accumulate iron even more quickly so that I can then build a swordsman. Once I build the swordsman with a warrior, not only will my warriors be more impressive, but my vampire will be as well, because it gets a boost up to the combat strength of the highest melee unit that you have. Okay, so we have 25 science per turn. They have 11, so I know they're not ahead of me in technology. We've accumulated way more science. I'm not very scared of Tamar. No walls, no units that I can see. If they do have units, they won't be farther ahead than ours just because we've accumulated more total science, so I doubt that they're ahead. So I think we can just kind of declare war. They've already denounced us, so we'll just declare a formal war. And we'll just go at it. Same exact strategy as before. Melee units are kind of going near the city. We're going to attack with the archers from the outside. The Commandante General is going to put it all together, and it's going to be glorious. Same exact strategy going on here. We're going to pillage for health for the vampire. Let's move our warriors in such a way that our archers can get in on the fun. I want them to have some fun too, although it's not strictly necessary. Yeah, we'll attack from there. That's all good. And you know, I really hope I'm not doing anything complicated or weird. I'm gonna send this guy around a little bit to start messing up Tbilisi. I hope I'm doing things that are pretty simple to understand and pretty simple to follow. I'm not really doing anything crazy. I'm not using any weird, crazy units. I'm not moving them in a weird way. Like, I'm kind of just finding a good domination civ, figuring out what makes it good, the Commandante Generals, the extra movement speed, those types of things, and then using that to my advantage. You can see now someone's put a bunch of envoys in Singapore and we can no longer walk through the borders. And that's becoming more of a problem. Good news for us is we have enough units that we don't need... we have enough units that we don't need to worry about it, but you can see the difference it made when we were the suzerain there. I think we're about to take a free settler. I think this... Ooh, maybe not. No, not quite. That's okay, though. We are going to take a city this turn, I do believe. Archer attack number 1. Archer attack number 2. Again, look at this promotion farming. And then vampire into Poti. Do we have a governor title? Next turn we have a governor title. I wouldn't normally be able to keep this. I would probably have to raise it. We're going to be losing a ton of loyalty. Minus 14, yeah. But I think, though, with the governor, it might be okay. So I'm going to keep it. I'm going to try and keep it with a governor next turn, because we are going to have that coming in. I don't want to move Pingala, though, because if we move Pingala, we lose the +7 science and culture per turn for having it be in the city with the higher population. That scout is super dead as well. I mean, we are still getting a free settler, so name of the game, free settler. We'll settle around here, and that'll give Poti a little extra help. We're going to go here for... I'm not going to pretend like it matters too much. Victor will be fine. You can see that's going to go from -7 loyalty to +0, which is neutral, which means that is good enough for us. You do get loyalty for keeping units in a city, so I will keep one of probably the heavy chariot in Podi in the city center to keep that loyalty going. Otherwise, though, we just keep on keeping on. Tbilisi's next, baby. Yeah, you can see we're losing loyalty now that we moved a unit out of the city. That's okay. You're healing. You can go in there. Then everyone else, we're moving on. Look how much damage this vampire does to Tbilisi. Its base strength is 44. That's like absolutely insane. Just so many units dying near the vampire. I think we're going to be able to take it next turn. I'm going for the based settler strategy of knowing that I'm going to take Tbilisi. So putting the settler in the middle so that I have an extra little loyalty boost to help me take Bursa later. Additionally, you can see my plan is already working. Right now, I have an army that is conquering the world. It's big enough to do it with enough promotions, but it's still quite small. And in every city, no unit being built, no unit being built, no unit being built, and then a couple of builders. I'm able to spend my time, my energy, and my policy cards getting extra builder production in keeping my empire amazing, right? So I'm able to do a domination victory at the same time as I'm able to boost my science with a campus, boost my gold income with a market and another commercial hub, boost my prosperity, my tile quality, my production, my food with the builders that are coming in here. Once you get this small army with a lot of promotions, you can kind of do it all, which is wonderful. As I take Tbilisi, that will be it for this video. Let's take Tbilisi first. This was the early game in how to win a domination victory in 2024 on Civilization 6 by Tamar. I'm so sorry I did it to you. I didn't mean to, but I had to do it. We're going to keep Tbilisi. I hope that covers a basic early game strategy for you. Now, again, Civ is an infinitely complicated game. I can't cover every domination strategy in every Civ. So if you just want to copy and paste this one and pick Grand Columbia, get all your extra movement, get your free great generals, and go and kill everyone next to you, that is a super fun approach, and I encourage you to try it. If you want to pick one of the other domination Civs, that's great. Build some encampments, get some great generals. That way you can see we're building up the points here to earn a great general, and then go kill the people next to you, right? So there's an unlimited amount of ways to play, but I hope I've given you the blueprint of what to focus on in the early game, building 2 or 3 cities for yourself, building a small early army, but kind of experience farming with that army to make sure they are highly promoted, taking that army around and then kind of going city by city and figuring out the loyalty, as well as making sure that you get vampires. Vampires are so good. If you have the DLC and you have secret societies, go for vampires. They're amazing. If you enjoyed this video, please stay tuned for part 2 and 3 where we cover the middle game and the late game, assuming I don't win this one too quickly. Please like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. How to win a domination game in 2024. This will be the early game. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.